All right, we are live, guys. Sorry for the little delay. I was kind of. I'm supposed to bring somebody in. As usual, Miruna will be joining me tonight. I'm so cold, guys.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm so happy to see you.
Me too. It's been so long.
Yes, it's been too long. Let
We
me.
missed each other last week.
Yes, we did, but it happens. Can you hear me, see me well?
I do hear you well. There's a little noise, like a little white noise, like shh, shh, but I hear you speak well.
How about now?
It's still there, but it's okay. I can still hear you properly.
Okay.
All right. So yes, it happens. It's perfect. We're exactly where we're supposed to be, and there's nothing such as there's nothing such as we can do something very constantly all the time, right? So it's okay. We're gonna sometimes miss some calls and sometimes just jump over the next week. But it's a good thing because I was actually having a hard time starting the live because I was like, which episode are we? Is it 8 or 9? So this is a good thing, girl, because I was like, I had to
It
go and scroll back through our videos to like remember which one we are now. But I think it's a great thing, isn't it?
it is. When I saw 9, I'm like, really? It's been 9. 9 calls,
I think
9
it's
themes.
9. Yeah.
Wow.
Great.
Really, really happy to see you.
I'm really happy to see you as well, my dear. I'm so happy. Would you like to drop into a meditation? And would you like to guide us through it?
I actually would love you to guide us
Oh
tonight.
gosh.
How's that? Oh, you
All
prefer me?
right. Of course. I love it. Of course.
Okay.
All right. So let's
Okay.
close our eyes. The ones who are watching us, we invite you to close your eyes if you want. Take deep, 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 deep breaths. So we thank you today, the universe, our Lord of our understanding, to be here together, to allow ourselves to be connecting and speaking freely from our heart. May we speak out of the Holy Spirit. May we be connected. May we have fun. And may we be directed and enlightened by the word so we can speak it out and be able to just do it with no pretension. Thank you so much. Let our heart be open and receive any message that has to be received today. Thank
Amen. Beautiful.
you. Thank you. So do you have a message that you are receiving right now?
Oh, you know what? I've been in such a hermit mode this week, and I
Really?
don't have something to share like a knowledge per se, but this resonating question comes back again and again. And the question is, what is healing? I don't know if we discussed healing, but it's something that we can talk over and over again. And I find that every time, depending on where we are and with the understanding of the moment, is so pertinent, and it can be spoken or described in so many ways. But that's what's coming up for me. What is healing?
What is healing? So, were you saying healing for you, healing for the humanity, healing on the physical? At the end of the day, right? Healing, it's all connected, right? So, when you have your soul, body, and mind, and that's what been coming up to me a lot, finding this balance between my soul, body, and mind. So, in order to achieve and seek this balance, you have to be willing to deconstruct everything you've believed and be willing to heal. So I love it because it's actually very pertinent for every person or every people's journey who's looking forward to try to change their results and try to change their lives. It has to come from healing, right? Because it's only through healing, for me, It's only through healing that you can move forward, right? So I do believe that healing is all connected when you mind, soul, body. It can be physical, it can be internal, it can be, you know, in terms of your society, like your environment. And I think when you're truly healed is when you're able to align those three aspects. Because when you're healed inside, then your exterior, your physical body heals. um, when you heal the environment where you are, have supportive system, then you're able to better heal yourself inside of you and heal your physical side. So yeah, definitely. Coach Will is actually asking us right now. Thanks, Coach Will, for the beautiful question. Healing of what?
Hey, Will.
From what? Yes, I
Lovely
don't
to see you
think.
join us.
Very good
Don't think
point.
anyone can be fully healed.
So I'm going to let you talk about it, Miruna.
Well, I love the question, healing of what or from what, right? And you were mentioning, Missy, that we have, well, everything is interconnected, our physical, emotional, mental. Holistically speaking, it's not even in boxes like that, but we need to name it just to point to the levels of like the being, human being. I it's an ideal. However, I do question what is healing in itself. One way to envision it for me, and I do look up to the models of Eckhart Tolle, Byron Katie. I do look at them, Gangaji. Yeah, I think these are my three, human being models right now that are on Earth, alive and breathing, that seem to be very not only healed, but they seem to be natural beings in a state of peace. So if I take it in reverse, which is not like to heal from, of course, we have layers and layers and layers of what resistance, beliefs that are not constructive, charged emotion, body, whatever, right? Just like barriers, etc., disease, like unease in the body. And so I'm not looking at perfection when I see the three that I mentioned, these human beings that I admire and I look up to, but I see inner peace. I see non-reactivity. I see in them the natural state of being that I believe we are born into, or that we are born with. Let's say, like, I believe that babies are they're not healed. They're just naturally light. Look at a baby, and we say so often as a society, oh my God, they're perfect. We just look at the baby and they're perfect, what is like a bundle of joy and love. We're not pointing to perfection in terms of the baby is so amazing, it's elegant. Look at this
According
baby,
to
it's
that.
like a marvelous baby. Yeah, no, but we're pointing to the bundle of energy that is a joy, and love, and also charged with emotions, human emotions. But there is a state of non resistance and like flexibility in this baby connection. It's like the state behind the veil of the forgetfulness, or state in which the openness and the vulnerability of this baby is so great that it has no choice but to be totally itself. So again, what comes to me is more questioning, pointing, and reflecting together on what is healing and what we believe about healing,
Mm-hmm.
than to actually say this is healing. I think
Mm-hmm.
this is such a layered introspection and sharing that it's worth just staying and questioning, pointing, looking at our models of healed people. It's very, I think it's very obvious what is unhealed or what is trauma, sometimes less obvious, right? But what is natural state of being whole and, you know,
I love it. So at the end of the day, because as I'm digging deeper right into higher self consciousness, you realize that the more you get into the rabbit hole, the more like everything I've learned in my life and everything we've been taught is so not what it is, right? It's so much more grand, it's so much more big. So in the same sense where you say, for me, let's say, oh, this person is healing, or this is healed person, or this is one, you know, at the end of the day, how do I know what makes somebody healing and what makes it somebody not healing, right? So it's still coming from a certain system of belief, a certain limitation from my part, because this is still my perspective. And during this last few days, every day I have, you know, my meditation prayer, and I love to have like, I have like phrases and affirmations or things I'm just, that's coming through me, right? That's not necessarily the truth, but that is just a truth or a perspective I'm upcoming with, because this is what it is. We grow up, we just discover, and then some things we discover today might not be true anymore for us in 5 days, in a year, right? That's what's part of evolution and journey, right? And one of the things it came up to me was the reality, forgot what I said at the exact words, but I said something like the reality you have is what you believe in, basically. So be like, as you must know, what you believe in is what your reality is. So in the same sense as you, what is healing, right? And from what you seem to say, tell me if I'm wrong, you seem to think in, and we're discussing here, that from who you are looking at, you seem to say that this healing is kind of corresponding for those people who have this high consciousness and inner peace, where they're not triggered anymore by the, the inner world and the outer world, and also a sense of authenticity. So when somebody is so authentic with themselves, where they don't have to transform or change themselves in accordance to their outer world environment, that's when somebody is healing or somebody is healed. Is that a bit like what we're trying to say to us?
yeah, I think that's what I'm pointing to. Will is talking about the biggest challenge. I totally agree that it isn't learning new, but it's to unlearn and relearn. That's what I was referring to when I mentioned the baby state.
Mm.
So we were born, I believe we're really born into a natural sense of self that is authentic. In psychology, you know, the birth of ID ego is at 2 years old. So before 2 years old, you can totally observe this natural state. However, toddlers get triggered all the time in emotions, which I wouldn't say means that they're not healed. It just means that well, they're paving their way to get to get the layers of the wounding that usually comes after
Mm.
with the growing in age. So
I love it. Well,
yeah, I love to just ask sometimes rather than answer, especially for something like this. Ask and also allow myself and to invite all of us to what is healing for us, and how do we know, for example, that we've healed a part of us.
I love it.
How do we know? It's when you said, you know, they usually don't get triggered. This is what we observe usually with spiritual. Again, I don't know if I should put a label on it, spiritual people, but the people that I mentioned, I don't observe them getting triggered, right? They really do seem to have a very high state of consciousness and the level of wisdom, but their path is filled with experiences of duality and triggering.
It is. I love it. I love that you feel, I feel like you're in the spirit right now. We're just, you know, just being who you are, just discovering even more deepening what you're understanding or just discovering, but also letting it go, right? And this is what it is. Like, I love questioning things. I always question things around me. And then you might, for some people, be like, wow, girl, like, you're, it's heavy. Like, aren't you getting tired of it? But you know what? God made me this way. You know, He made me in a way that I love to be curious about things and we question things. And then when I question things to people, it's not because I don't think they're truthful or because they're like not right. It's just because I just enjoy and see how deep is their understanding or how deep is your belief regarding that. And then that allows me to expand my beliefs or expand my understanding, you know. And if I can say for my healing, and thank you, Coach Will, which is it's truly that that's what it is, right? Is that there's something about learning new things and unlearn some things. I do agree with that, and I think that everything is connected in the sense that for me, where I am right now with my spiritual journey, I feel like healing for me is letting go, releasing the control we want to have on the world. It's about, for me, and once again, like, it's just my own opinion in what I'm living. It's about as well letting go of the resistance, right, that we have to like make things. It goes with control. It's about, for me, of freeing myself up from the traumas I've had, freeing myself up from my systems of beliefs that are created uneasiness and anxiety into myself, you know. And then when you really
Mm.
tap into your own meditation and your inner state, um you will know deeply. Like, it requires practice, guys. Don't expect, like Macy said, that if we sit down for 5 minutes you'll know what's triggering you or not, you know. Like, obviously not, but I'm just saying, the more you practice it, the more you will know what triggers you and not. And then there was something that was telling me, I forgot where I read it or where I heard it, but it was about when you're triggered, you feel uneasy, your heart is pumping, or you have signs. Yeah, we were talking about signs on the body, physical body,
Yeah.
because it's very highly intelligent. When you're uneasy, that's when you know you're unbalanced. That's when you know like something is not working well. So for me, healing is growing into a higher spiritual state where you feel more connected on the vertical, right, ascension of God, of your own understanding of the universe, and feel less attached. Like, me
Mm-hmm.
personally, I feel, I'm not saying, guys, I'm completely healed. Like Will said, it's really, you know, there's a long way to it. But I'm just saying that I am on the process of healing. And for me, this is something I want to keep going and journaling about and experiencing. But I feel less attached. How should I say it? Because we're living a 3D dimension. Okay, then we can go really deep on that. But I'm just saying I feel less attached to the world that we live in. Like, I still, like, I'm unconscious because we still have this limitation that I am still here. I feel, I touch, I see, I eat, I taste, whatever. I know that I'm in this physical world, but consciously and in my mind, I'm kind of like going in a higher purpose. I'm perceiving things not as the same as I used to. I'm
Mm.
less attached to the physical assets of things, materialism. I'm not saying like, oh wow, if you're materialistic, you're a bad person. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that's how my journey has been, and that's how elevating my soul
Mm.
for me. I feel like by elevating my soul and be truly connected with your soul and your spirit is what allows you to heal as a human being, because at the end of the day, we're a soul in a body. We're not a body in a soul, right? And often we forget because we fall into this um comment dire, obstacle, this obstacle
Obstacle. Yeah.
obstacle to or this limitation
A
where, like, shit,
barrier, limitation. Yeah.
barriers of like
Mm.
just thinking what we have in front of ourselves, and forgetting that we can actually have so much power when we're connected with ourselves and our highest selves, you know. And then my coach yesterday said the Holy Spirit, HS,
Yeah.
exactly the same initials, thanks Christina, then the higher self, HS.
I love that.
Isn't it crazy, girl? It's just amazing. So
I
once
love
you
that.
understand that you have a higher purpose to help others get free themselves from this mental prison, I feel for me that's just a form of healing. And then we can go on another discussion another time. But I'm realizing that we live in an upside down world, which is, then again, it's a limitation from my part in what I'm learning, because that's where I am, where everything we've been taught is actually the opposite of what God really wants for us. You know what I mean? So anyway, so that's another discussion for another time. But
I love it.
yes, it's crazy. I can literally, I'm going to make a video of it, like all the little points I've been, we've been taught that's good, but it's actually the opposite, right? Or vice versa, or just the fact that something is good and bad, we're just being in charge of ourselves and being, with our ego, judging what's good and bad, right? Anyway, but to come to the point of the question is, what is the meaning of healing? I think we'll never be able to answer it like this is the truth, that's what it is written
Yeah.
on paper. It's good because first of all, we're humans, just us. We're limited in some points. We're still living our journey and still exploring our life and what is the meaning of our life here on earth. Secondly, we're not God. So we'll never be able to have one truth. And third of all, because we're human, just humans, we can have only one, unless you get connected with other being and can see their eyes. But I'm just saying, we can only have one perceptions and one perspective from what we're living, from what we are. So I will never be able at the end of the day to answer what is the right answer to the question, what is healing? I think it doesn't matter. I think at the end of the day is, at your life, at your timing, at your journey right now, what does it feel like for you in your soul, in your connectiveness, when you pray and when you meditate? What does it feel like for you healing? Right? Because that's what
Yeah.
matters. It doesn't matter what your brother says, what the neighbor on two house down street tell you what it is, because if it doesn't connect and align with what you are right now and what you feel like you are with your soul, it's not going to get you any definition. It's not going to get you forward. It's not going to make you alive. You know what I mean? It has to be what fits for you right now at this moment. So that would be my conclusion of all that.
Totally. I love it. I love it. The answer is in our own experience.
It is. Exactly.
And yes, we cannot see all the perspectives. We can listen and ask, and I think questions are more important than answers in this case, because they just lead us to more sharing of perspectives and experiences, uh, because it's so subjective to one's own feeling,
Yeah.
belief, and again, actual living. How do you feel living on this earth? How do you feel before and after what you named or you identify as healing on
Exactly.
a particular area?
And
Knowing that fully healed, what is fully healed? Not feeling
mhm,
emotions definitely is
mhm,
doesn't mean not feeling emotions for me. The end of suffering would be close for me,
really, yeah.
like not
See,
to suffer,
we could talk
not
about it
not not
another.
not to
Yeah.
have pain, not to suffer. Okay.
Okay. Not, you said not pain but suffer.
Yes, because the great difference, then
Yeah.
Gangaji pointed it out in the video. She said there is to be pain.
Yeah. That's what I was
Suffering
going
is
to
an
say.
option.
Oh, okay. See,
I
I would
love it
love
because
to talk more
suffering is in
later.
the mind.
Okay,
Yeah, but
I would
pain
love to
is
talk
pain.
about
It's
it.
human.
Yeah, you
There
see,
is to
that's
be
what I was
pain.
going to tell you.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love it. So at the end of the day, it's not what is basically your intention. And then that's what Will was saying earlier. Thank you for so much, Will, to exchange with us and to be part of this beautiful life, is that we won't never be able to come in our journey and say, okay, where I have arrived, I am fully at my max. I don't need to learn or unlearn anything anymore. I'm super high up and I'm super high conscious, and I can manifest whatever. We never end up to this life, because I believe in what I'm learning and whatever my journey is that human beings are meant to keep going in this journey, and then our way back is to find a way back with God. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, for me, it's been such a realization that all my life I've been trying, and that's what we believe. So, like, we believe that all the weight of the world is on our shoulders, that if we have a problem, we are the only one who has to find a solution. If we have an issue with somebody, we are the one who has to resolve it. If you have something, who have problems of money or success or whatever, we are the one who has to everything in the world is on our shoulders to be able to succeed for our own. But I've realized with all my, even my young age, I've been trying to do all of that by myself alone. And it's just not possible, guys. You're just one person, one humans who doesn't have, who's like in a chains, in prison, or limitation vision, whatever you want to call it, that you can't possibly do it by yourself. You know what I mean? Like my personal experience is that I must use my higher self, my connectiveness, my spirit, my soul, and my connectiveness with God and with the universe. And only when I lean on Him that I can truly move forward and grow proper. And I think that He knows, God knows that even if we fuck it up, we have pain or we suffer because we self sabotage, because you were saying it's your mental that makes you suffer. Even all of that, and then maybe at the end of our life, which is not really the end, obviously, end of this life, we haven't achieved what we want to achieve, or we haven't progressed as much as we want to progress. God doesn't look at that. He doesn't look where you at on the map when you die or when you go on your next path. I don't know, like I'm not there yet for myself, but He looks at your heart. He looks at your intention. If you had the intention of healing, no matter what it means for you, or you had the intention of growing or giving love to others, whatever it means for you, obviously love for you if it's kill other people, you know, some things,
Yeah, very
whatever,
loving. Yeah.
we'll see. Yeah, at the end of the day, maybe not, like we can go very far with that. But I'm just saying, when you, as long as you have the intention truly, and that you're being pure with your heart's intention, that's all He needs. He just wants you to be, speaking with love, sharing with love, giving love to your community and with yourself. Self love, community love. This is the only thing a guy always say I love is the only thing that is real is love. I love it. I love it when he says that, because this is
I love that.
perfectly true, girl. The only thing that is real is love, and
I
God is
I
love.
would I would love that as a theme. And I don't think we can do it tonight, but next time I would love to talk about love, to talk about God and to check again with pointers and questions. Is this true? Only love is real. Course of Miracles
Yeah,
says only love is real.
yeah,
Yeah, let's take a chance on that one. It's such a charged it's such a charged mental topic when you name God, right? Just the word itself is like, oh my God, we can't talk about God. But to bring it into a very practical, embodied experience and on a personal level, I think keeps us heart to heart and safe to be able to just share and exchange, again, with no pretensions, no definitions, no, this is the ultimate truth, only love is real. No, it's just, this is a statement. It's found in the Course of Miracles. It's found in many other places. Is this true for us, for each one of us? And is God love? Is this true? So I can't wait. I can't wait to just let it flow,
I love it.
exchange on it, because I find that when we clash is when we come with convictions and beliefs that are pre-settled and like unmovable, right?
Yes.
This is what. So no, let's try something different. Let's
Yeah.
just question and let's really ask, is this true for you? If so, why? And how can you point in your experience, how is that true, or why? Because when you get to share with me why love in action for you, Macy, in your life is true, and why you stand by this conviction, which is also a part of who you are, then I'm totally in. And I really get it. And I might actually connect at a heart level and be like, oh my God, this is true for me as well. Only love is real for me too. And God is love.
What is love? Because
I can't wait.
I love
I
it.
can't
Oh,
wait
I
for
love
next
it.
next Wednesday. So this is it for next Wednesday,
Yeah.
right? We
Oh my
usually
gosh, I
we
have so
don't
many
over
things.
prepare, but
Eventually,
I'll
if ever he flows to it, you're right. We'll talk about it, right? I would love to hear you about the pain, difference between pain and suffering. That's what Will kindly told us. Unless we see purpose in our pain, it will remain painful. While this, like you seem to say, there's a difference between pain and suffering. We're definitely going to talk later on about other different aspects of our perception. I love it. I feel like right now you're living in a period in your place where I feel like you perhaps, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, that you feel some questioning, deep questioning about what you've learned so far in your life. And I feel that this is why the energy is coming up right now with me about what is true or not, right? And I want to stress out before we ending our call, because it's already past our time, that at the end of the day, two guys, do not stress about or get anxiety over what is the absolute truth or what is the absolute, like, we keep seeking the truth and keep seeking what is right from wrong, and then in order to be feeling at rest, right? The truth, oh, I just got something, the truth is ongoing, or your truth is ongoing, or falsehood is ongoing. Like, everything is in movement. The only constant, that my coach used to say, is movement, is change, is transformation. That is the only constant. Nothing in this world, in ourselves, in the world that we know, whatever it may be, from what I know, obviously, Miruna, from what I think,
yes,
is is how should
static.
immobile, static,
Yeah, static.
right?
No.
Everything is mobile, everything is
Yeah,
changing and moving. So our beliefs, our truth, our journey is ongoing, it's moving, it's
yeah.
flowing.
So
So
let them
at the
keep
end of the day,
moving.
what is
Yeah,
the truth?
let
Because
them.
the truth is always going, right?
The beliefs are keep on going. The feeling of the energy of love is my has been my constant though in
Okay,
its
but
movement.
it is exactly, it has been your constant, but it has still been involved, right? Because my perception of love has hugely evolved since my awakening, since this last year. You know what I mean? So it's constantly, it's always getting better. You know what I mean?
It,
For
it
us, I
it's a
mean,
deepening.
it
Yes,
is.
yeah,
It
a more
is.
intense. Definitely.
So this
Yeah.
is our truth. It's our truth of love. Let's say we were talking about what is healing. Well, let's say for our truth of love is ongoing, evolving, changing, you know um and it's always getting better. And this is the beauty of life, right?
Yes. Yes, it is. Definitely. Wow. Yeah. Well, I love the movement in our conversation tonight, and I love the movement and exchange with those who are with us. Yeah. I hope we each inquire into ourselves.
I love it, guys. I thank you so much for your time, Miruna. I could feel
Thank
like we
you
could
for your
talk for
time.
so much longer, but we cannot do too much. Like, let's find a solution that makes us easier every week,
Yeah.
makes it easier for us. And definitely, I feel like every week is just so beautiful, because I was worried of, like, I was telling my boyfriend, shit, babe, I'm scared, like, that's limiting me. My fear is that one day I won't be able to come up with create content, right? Because, like, what if I have no ideas anymore, right? But I'm like, it's impossible, because every day I think about something, and every day I observe
Yes.
so much in my life, and I'm so passionate about just looking at all the angles and analyzing things and learning new things from other people, that it's a limiting fear, because I know we'll always have something to talk about. I
Yes.
know it, and it's
Ever
ongoing
moving.
and
It's
moving.
ongoing and moving. That's a good
So
constant.
I love
Yeah.
it. So on to our next
Yeah.
call next Wednesday, guys. At 8 p.m. as usual, you can find us on this beautiful live, and I'll be uploading our call here on YouTube, and as well on my Instagram page that you will share as well.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. A blessed evening and deep inquiry to us all. Cannot
Bye.
wait for next Wednesday.